February the 13th, 2008 was an incredible moment in Australian history. A day in which the nation stopped, joined together to acknowledge the sufferings of Indigenous Australians. The day the Prime Minister said sorry on behalf of the Australian Parliament. It was a day we recognised mistakes of the past and resolved that these mistakes would never happen again.
Thank you very much. From the bottom of my heart.
An apology is not the panacea. It's not the one-stop shop that means that everything's going to be fine. But what it is a great foundation or stepping stone into making these things more possible.
Good to see you.
It gives us a chance to think about the possibilities of what we can achieve beyond this point.
You've come all the way from the Alice? Yeah. Well, thank you for being here. Good to see you got your Canberra jumper on. To the stolen generations, I say the following. As Prime Minister of Australia, I am sorry. On behalf of the Government of Australia, I am sorry. On behalf of the Parliament of Australia, I am sorry. And I offer you this apology without qualification. We apologise for the hurt, the pain and suffering we, the Parliament, have caused you by the laws that previous parliaments have enacted. We apologise for the indignity, the degradation and the humiliation these laws embodied. We offer this apology to the mothers, the fathers, the brothers, the sisters, the families and the communities whose lives were ripped apart by the actions of successive governments under successive parliaments. So let us turn this page together, Indigenous and non-Indigenous Australians, government and opposition, Commonwealth and state, and write this new chapter in our nation's story together.
You could hear a pin drop. It was electrifying, that atmosphere. And I remember a journalist asking me an hour later, what was it like in there? Can you describe it? And that was the singular word that I could think of. There was no other way to describe it. It was electrifying once it all had unfolded. And then, of course, the tears, and more tears and more tears and more tears. The crying has never stopped. It's like it was just the beginning of a huge breath, you know, an exhale of relief and emotion that still hasn't stopped.
After all these years, forget about all the troubled times.
For people like me, and there's a lot of people out there like me who weren't personally stolen or taken away from their families, but my ancestors were, my grandmother was, and it's because of that that I no longer have my language. I no longer am familiar with some of the basics of our culture. Those stories have stopped. So for me personally, I feel like the apology is not just one for my family and the families of the past, but it's also for those of us who mourn the things that we've lost, that make up a part of who we are.